Good? It's your boy Wick to the Split, and I'm back with, I guess you could say, a boxing prediction. I guess you could say that. Um, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. versus Roberto, the Hands of Stone Duran. This should have been a fucking a fight that should have happened. You know, there should have been a fight that should have happened back in the '80s. Or to the early, or yeah, I guess you could say the '80s, because they were both fighters from the '80s. Well, I mean, fucking Roberto Duran was a fighter from the '60s that led up into the '80s. This is a fight that should have happened in the '80s, and if not the '80s, in the early '90s. Why it didn't happen, I have no clue. I have no clue. This would have been one hell of a rock'em sock'em robot kind of fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. was fucking, my goodness, this motherfucker was like a cyborg. Like, he wasn't even human. Like, this fool could take the kind of punishment that only fucking you'd see in like a movie, like in a Rocky movie. Like, Chavez Sr. took unbelievable fucking punishment. Like, seriously, like if you go back and look at the fight with Meldrick Taylor, when he was losing the fight, he was getting hit with some fucking horrible, deadly shots from Meldrick Taylor that should have knocked him out. And Chavez Sr. held his own. He didn't back down. He didn't cower away. He didn't take a backward step. Like, this motherfucker took some unhuman ass like punishment. Yeah, if these two fighters ever got to fight each other, this would have definitely been a crazy ass fight. But why these two didn't fight, I don't know. Um, I always thought that Roberto Duran was Mexican. I mean, I guess he wasn't. I guess he's from Panama. I mean, I guess you could say that, Spanish. Same thing. Panama, Spanish, same shit. You know what I mean? But if these two got to fight, they would have beat the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? It would have been like reminiscent of like Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. But yeah, these two fighters were unbelievable fighters to watch. Very entertaining, especially Roberto Duran. Chavez Senior was entertaining. I seen something that when he fought, who was it? Was it shit? What's his name? Floyd Mayweather's uncle, Roger Mayweather. I seen when Chavez Senior, when he fought Roger Mayweather, he was like hella underestimated, and kind of no one actually gave him a chance or something like that, because they seen how good Roger Mayweather was, and no one was giving Chavez a chance. Or like, he's too tall, he's too strong for Chavez, and it wasn't even like that. Like, Chavez fucking ran right through him. But that's just Chavez style, that's Chavez style. He was just fucking a rugged, entertaining, boxer. That's just what he was. And I wish we had fighters like Chavez Sr. Chavez Sr. was hands down the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. And not just greatest Mexican fighter, but one of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean, he had like a record of like something like 89-0 or something like that when he lost to Frankie Randall. And I was just like, how the fuck did dude, he had something like over 50 title defenses or some shit like that. And I'm just like, this motherfucker worked harder than shit, man. Like, it's fucking difficult to even get to 20-0. This motherfucker made it to almost 90-0. He's just like 10 fights away from 100-0. Like, come on, man. Cool. Straight up props to Chavez Sr. Chavez Sr. is a fucking beast. I don't know why Chavez Jr. isn't dedicating himself to being a great fighter like his dad. I guess he just doesn't have the heart or the will to be an amazing, strong fighter like his dad. But because if he did, he wouldn't have gave up in that Fanfara fight. But I'm curious to see how what's his name, Chavez Jr. does against what's his name? Jay Leon Love. I personally, I mean, I made my video already on it. Personally, I think that Chavez Jr. is just gonna like fucking knock Jay Leon Love out. You know what I mean? And the reason I say that is because, you know, Jay Leon Love, he gets careless a lot. You know what I'm saying? He gets hella careless. And, you know, as strong as Chavez Jr. is, I could just see just Chavez Jr. just throwing that one shot to just knock the fuck out of, what's his name? Jay Leon Love. And, oh, yeah, and I found out what that guy's name is. The guy that I was looking for. The guy that I was talking about. The guy that knocked out Jay Leon Love. His name was Rogelio Medina. I found that. That was his name. Rogelio Medina. And he knocked out, was it Jay Leon Love? But I could see something like that happening to Jay Leon Love in the Chavez Jr. fight. But that's what his name was, Rogelio Medina. But going back to the 80s, though, you know, Thomas Hearns, I seen he knocked out Roberto Duran, so I don't know if Roberto Duran's chin was ever tested. It was never tested. That's the thing. I mean, I know he beat Sugar Ray Leonard and everything, but like, I don't think Roberto Duran's chin was ever tested. It just never got tested. And I think the first time his chin got tested, Duran, is when he fought Thomas Hearns, and he got knocked the fuck out. But I think that if these two ever fought, I think that Chavez Sr. would win, because he would out-tough Roberto Duran. You know what I mean? Roberto Duran was tough, but he gave up in that fucking Leonard fight. I think that he would out-tough Roberto Duran, Chavez Sr. But these two should have fought. I don't know why they didn't. And you guys, leave a comment in the bottom. Thank you guys.